A school like California State University Northridge is one of the more affordable schools in the nation. However, many students still cannot afford both housing and tuition. Therefore, many students commute. CSUN commuter students face many different obstacles than the average college student who lives on campus. This is a documentary on the CSUN commuter students. According to the Sundial, CSUN is a commuter school, which is defined as, quote, a sizable percentage of students who commute to class. As a commuter school, CSUN has a very different feel from other residential universities, especially on weekends, when the population of a commuter campus can go from 10,000 to a few hundred, end quote. College is already a huge transitional period, navigating between adulthood, school, a new environment, and a new social life with new friends. However, unlike residential students who live on campus, commuter students must navigate between school, work, adulthood, along with commuting. Commuting adds hours of travel time each day on top of class, work, and doing homework, and perhaps more depending on traffic or travel detours. Additionally, commuter students must also balance their personal lives, such as experiences of being an adult living at home and what kind of effect that brings on one's college and growing young adult experience.
My name's Madison Rose. I'm a vocal performance major here at CSUN, and this is my 4th year, so I'm almost done. Yay!
So, what are you doing right now?
Well, right now we are driving around the parking lot trying to find a place to park on this lovely crowded parking structure thing.
So where are you from, Maddie?
I'm from Orange County. I live in Stanton, but no one knows where that is, so I just tell people I'm from Anaheim. Disneyland, you know, that great area.
Yeah. And where do you commute from?
I commute from Stanton, so it's about, with mild traffic, it's about an hour and a half. It's about 50 miles away.
Wow.
This morning wasn't too bad. It only took me about an hour and 10, but usually it's about an hour and a half.
Wow. So what about with traffic?
With a lot of traffic, getting here, it could take about an hour and 45 minutes. Once sitting through traffic, I did spend about 2 hours and 15 minutes driving home because, rush hour traffic, which is terrible.
Yeah. According to Laura J. Horn and Jennifer Brickhold, who wrote an article and study on commuter students, the rise of commuter students on college campuses are due to the rising economic disadvantages of unaffordable education and housing. Horn and Berchtold state that approximately 86% of students are defined as commuter students, and write, quote, the commuter student population is a diverse group which encompasses full-time students who live with their parents, part-time students who live in off-campus apartments, parents with children at home, and full-time workers. Commuters range in age from the traditional college student, 18 to 24 years old, to the older adult. They attend every type of higher education institution, including 2-year and 4-year public universities or private colleges. Typically, commuter students walk, ride bikes, take public transportation, or drive to campus to go to classes. They often attend classes and then go home or to work, rarely spending additional time from outside of the classroom or on campus. End quote. Additionally, the article states, quote, for those students who are working full-time, raising a family, or caring for an elderly parent, campus residency is not a viable option. Also, commuting may be economically beneficial because many commuter students cannot afford to live on campus. And why is it that you commute from so far?
Well, I do a lot at school. I don't have a lot of time to work because of all the I'm in the choir and the opera and all the other school coursework that I'm taking. It's just a lot of time commitments, and so I don't have a lot of time to work, so I don't have a lot of money saved up so that I can really afford to live on my own up here. So I live with my parents, so I don't have to pay rent, but that means I gotta commute for an hour and a half every day.
Right, but definitely you can't afford the housing or an apartment because it's just so expensive.
Oh yeah, especially since we're up here in LA, it's just crazy.
Right. CSUN commuter students travel in various ways, according to the commuting behavior and transportation preferences of the CSUN community study conducted in March of 2019. 50% of CSUN students who commute drive a personal vehicle, while 12% take public transportation. Of the 50% that drive, 46% park in CSUN lots and have a semester or annual parking permit. How is parking, by the way?
I'm not gonna lie, this past week I have been blessed that every time I've gotten here, I have found a parking spot right away.
Right.
But
it's not always the case.
No, the first day of school, well, the first week, but the first day, it took me 40 minutes to find parking. I had to go through the surface lots, and then I had to go to the parking structure, and it was just terrible.
The prices of permits vary from year to year, but they usually range around $180 to $220 for a semester-long pass and $360 to $400 for year-long passes. The 2019 fall semester permit prices were raised to the highest they've ever been.
So what's your name?
Mike Newby.
And when did you go to CSUN?
From 2009 to 2015.
And where did you live when you went to CSUN?
I lived in Canyon Country, California.
And can you tell me about your commute from Canyon Country to CSUN?
Yeah, it wasn't the best commute. There's typically a lot of traffic.
Okay, so can you explain why your parking strategies changed from your first years to your last couple of years?
I'd save money from having to buy a parking pass. It would only take me about 5 minutes, or always less than 5 minutes, to find a spot on the street. I always went to the same spots, and based on the time that I would get to class, I would always know where to go to.
Okay.
And then just ride my scooter to class took about 10-15 minutes anyway, so it all ended up being the same amount of time.
So would you say that this is a helpful tip for possible incoming commuter students, that you can find parking on the street sooner or quicker than you would in a parking structure?
Yeah, if you want to save money from buying a parking pass and you don't mind the long walk or scooter or skateboard ride.
Another issue with commuter students is having to literally carry their day on their backs, meaning not being able to go home or put their backpack or books in their dorm, but rather carry all their life and school necessities in their backpack for the day, in the hopes of finding a place to sit down between classes. So your car is really your best friend.
It is. I live out of my car. Like, my back seat has like 3 different jackets and a bunch of books.
Hey everyone, my name is Sochi Hernandez and I am a commuter student. I am a senior here at CSUN. I've been commuting all 4 years here. I commute from Santa Clarita, California. With traffic, it can vary from 40 minutes to 50 minutes to an hour. One time it took me an hour and a half, and I'm like stuck in traffic, and I definitely spend a lot of time driving to and from in order to obtain my education here at school. I eat in my car. I do lots of things in my car while I'm coming to school, like practice my music because I'm also a music major. I bring my breakfast, lunch, and dinner in my lunchbox since I have super long days here, and I save money by not buying food all the time. And I'll go show you my best friend and my companion, Sasha, who has gotten me to and from school all 4 years of my college degree. So yeah, that's my commuter campus story.
Commuter students who rely on public transportation to travel to school may even more so feel the effects of having to carry their day on their back, since they do not have a personal vehicle to retreat to during breaks or to keep miscellaneous personal items in.
Every day I wake up at 5:45 a.m. so that I can give myself enough time for my morning routine. I have trouble waking up, so I need that extra time to wake myself up. I need to be out of my house by 6:40 to ensure I'll be at Union Station around 7, since I'm coming from Eagle Rock, which is that part of Los Angeles in between Glendale and Pasadena. Luckily for me, Union Station is on my mom's way to her work, so she drops me off. I board the 716 Metrolink so that I'm in Northridge at 8:03. It's always about a 40-minute ride. Then I hop on the Metrolink shuttle that CSUN provides, which is a 10-minute ride, and then I'm finally on campus. I use the Metrolink because of various reasons. One major reason is that my parents, who make a middle-class income, cannot afford to buy a fourth car. They are also already paying for my twin sister's USC tuition, and we unfortunately do not qualify for financial aid. Another major reason is because of the traffic. If I were to drive to school, I'd be stuck in traffic for at least 1 hour. My first class is at 9, while my last class ends at 4:45, both which contain rush hour traffic around them. My commute is just quicker with the Metrolink.
A study from stateuniversity.com reports that, quote, residential students live, eat, study, and socialize together in residence halls, thus having greater opportunities to make friends and to become socially integrated into the campus community, end quote, while commuter students usually only socialize in the classroom and may feel socially isolated on campus. Residential students can easily participate in social university events as well as extracurricular clubs and dorm life. Commuter students do not have the luxury of being able to be involved or attend whatever event or club they desire, but approach it with caution considering the fact that they do not live on campus or near campus, unlike residential students. The commuter student study done by Horn and Berchtold stated that, quote, not only is frequent contact with students outside the classroom difficult to obtain, but commuters often face limited contact opportunities with faculty and staff members as well. Commuters must make additional trips to campus to meet with faculty members during their designated office hours. Unlike residential students, commuter students rarely have the opportunity to observe faculty and staff members on campus involved in non-classroom activities, such as playing sports in the recreation center or interacting with students in the student center. These informal student-faculty interactions have been linked to academic performance and to personal and intellectual development for students, according to the 1991 report done by Ernest Pascarella and Patrick Terenzini. The interaction time for commuters with faculty members is often limited to a few minutes between classes or briefly during office hours. Nationally, some of the negative impacts of commuting can be attributed to the high cost of college tuition and student living. While commuter students may benefit from not having to pay the campus housing fees and meal plans that residential students must pay, tuition and the cost of living off campus still impact a large portion of students across the nation who cannot afford the copious amounts of school expenses. Before the earlier 2000s, it used to be that students could support themselves and be able to pay rent and tuition by working a part-time job. Former CSUN student Leo Hernandez stated he could work part-time at the Oviatt Library and still be able to pay his apartment's rent and tuition while going to school in the early 90s. But now, that proves to be impossible for students with even a full-time job due to the rise in gas prices, tuition, and living expenses. Commuting also adds more fuel gases into the environment, worsening climate change by the second. All in all, commuting is not the issue, but rather the rise in unaffordable living and school expenses, in addition to other obstacles that leads a student to have no other choice but commute. However, there are also several benefits to commuting, such as saving money and living in a comfortable home. Next time you see a commuter student, remember what they may endure in order to obtain an education. They are more than students going to and from work, school, and home in a car or public transportation. They are soldiers. These are the untold stories of commuter students, a breed of resilient human beings.